one new head teacher.
You know, you wake up in the middle of the night and you suddenly realise that you are responsible for nearly 200 pupils and the adults and the families. So that sense of responsibility, where in a lot of things the buck really does stop here, that's scary.
And an experienced educational coach.
When you have a problem or something you'd like to achieve, you really can't see the wood for the trees, and the role of the coach is to help you explore that journey and see what are the pathways, what are the options.
Over the next few weeks, Coach Niki Thomas will work with head teacher Hazel Burnie on leadership skills. Through their work, we'll discover some useful approaches on how to take those initial steps towards your big vision. And if your aspirations include offering extended services, there'll be some tips from our expert coach at the end of the programme. As a new head teacher, you may be clear on your vision for your school, but the tricky bit is how to get started on it. We've come to St Alfeges with St Peters Church of England School in Greenwich, where Hazel Burnie has been head for just 4 weeks. We'll see how she takes those initial steps towards achieving her big dreams for her school.
For the children in this school, I want the best, and I want the best for them from the point they walk through the gate in the morning to the point they leave in the evening. And that's what I would like to achieve.
Hazel has many aspirations for her school, but is determined that high-quality extended services will play a major part.
There are lots of different ways of doing extended service, and for me that's part of the problem. I'm a bit of a black and white person. Give me the manual, tell me how to do it, and then we'll get it done. I've got to lead the way, haven't I? I've got to have high aspirations for the school, and I've got to model that to the staff, to the children, that, you know, our motive is to dream, to strive, to achieve, to celebrate. And my dream is we will tick all the boxes and every child will have an exciting time at school every moment of the day.
Niki Thomas, an educational consultant, will help Hazel discover the management tools she needs to start putting in place her overriding vision for her school. A head teacher for more than 9 years, she now works for the National College for School Leadership.
Part of what you're doing is reassurance and saying, yes, there's lots to do and you'll probably want to do everything by yesterday, but you can't. And it's helping them to as much decide what they're not going to do as what they are going to do. As a leader, you have to be really strategically focused on extended services and not get involved in where are the cornflakes coming from for the breakfast club. That's not your role. You need to be keeping the eye on the bigger agenda.
You know, it's almost to me like setting up a company, and that's something that I haven't got the expertise to do, and I need guidance to do that.
When taking steps towards long-term goals for your school, according to Niki, it's crucial to take time to refine your big vision.
Hello.
Hi, hello Hazel.
Nice to meet you, Niki. You're very welcome.
She's asked Hazel to bring along an object that symbolises her aspirations and hopes for St Alfeges.
Quite a challenge. This is something that the children made. This is our Olympic torch for St Alfeges. So that's very much the focus of what we're doing, and it reflects very much how I feel about the school. I think it's right to dream, and dreams are absolutely fine, but the purpose of the school is striving for those dreams.
In terms of that then, what do you think might be those dreams and aspirations that you have?
I now want to move to the next stage so that we're not just about good behaviour and attainment in literacy and numeracy. I want to work on giving our children the very best experience.
So if you were to imagine that in, let's say, 2 or 3 years' time, you had fulfilled that dream, what might be different around the school?
I hope extending and broadening the curriculum in the classroom, but also at either end of the day. So it is about broadening what the children have access to, and thereby raising their aspirations and their awareness of what opportunities are out there in the world for them.
By clarifying your overriding vision for your school, Niki is convinced it's easier to see how your current challenges fit in. In Hazel's case, how to set up an extended school. So what provision does she already have?
Can you describe to me What's it like now in terms of...
The extended day provision?
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
what does that look like and feel like?
Very limited extended day provision at the beginning of the day. At the end of the day, basically there are a series of after-school clubs. The provision starts at 3:45, but the children's school day finishes at 3:30. So nobody's very clear about who is responsible for these children in the 15-minute period. I'm not very happy with that. I just feel, we need to be absolutely clear who is responsible for those children.
OK. I'm just getting a sense of you want to neaten it all up.
I do, because I am that sort of person. I like everything, I don't like
need to know where it all is.
I don't like grey. I don't do grey.
Nikki gets Hazel to think about what she could do in the short term to sort out her current provision.
So what are the opportunities then, and what could we go away and do?
I want the clubs to start at 3:30, not 3:45, because I can't have this bit in the middle.
Time. No. That, in a way, is a relatively short-term and easily resolvable thing, isn't it? How do people sort of sign up to these activities? And
I don't know who's going to what club. First thing I've got to do is set up a meeting with a community project worker and say, tell me what's going on now, tell me the lists, what time, who, where, CRB checks, what children.
With only a community officer to help Hazel run extended services, Nikki thinks getting a team together might make all the difference.
Who have you got currently who would be an ally or supportive or has got an interest in this agenda, who you could use?
Well, I can think of 3 people off the top of my head. One is somebody in the senior leadership team. She's very aware of a more holistic approach.
Anybody else who you think, they would be a key person to get involved?
The key governor.
Yeah.
There's 2 parents that have already approached me.
That's a good group, isn't it?
That's 7 without me.
7 without you.
You sort of see the role as sort of almost setting up a committee of people.
Absolutely. For want of a better phrase, a change team.
I felt the task was hugely onerous on me or the project worker. So in pulling these other people on board, I think that would be a really good way of solving the problem.
Nikki wants Hazel to inspire her staff with her ideas for extended services.
The goal is the whole vision for extended services being shared and owned by everybody. And sometimes when you're trying to change something, it can really help people if they can see, literally, physically see, this is what it might look like.
Yes, arranging a trip out to see the Millfield School in Hackney.
Yeah.
Because that's somewhere that I went and was very impressed and very enthused by. The community involvement, the extended day provision, that's what I want to aim for. So certainly, I could take some of these key players to see that. And then they would have an understanding of why I'm so enthusiastic to move with this. Thank you so much. It's I found it really helpful, actually. I do feel inspired and I do feel excited because what she's said has reaffirmed that my dreams could work. I wasn't completely off the mark in wanting to aim for this vision of an extended day that's all singing and all dancing.
It's been a week since Nikki and Hazel's coaching session. Nikki watches footage of what Hazel has been doing to find out what initial steps she's made in setting up her extended services.
I mentioned about the breakfast club. What was the objection? Is that the cost or the timing or what?
Timing, maybe the cost as well might be issues.
Did people mention anything about cost or what they'd be prepared to say?
Credit crunch, isn't it?
Well, exactly.
It's really good she's got parents involved as well. And she's done it informally, which is really good.
So the first thing I did, I went to our community project worker, Rachel, and sort of said, this is my position, this is my worry. I'm not really sure what's going on. Can you give me a list? And she's going to come back. We've arranged this coming Thursday that she's going to meet with me again with a list of who does what, which children are involved.
That's really good, because she was very worried about that, and she's been honest and said, I'm worried, and talked to somebody about it and said, can you help me out here to sort this?
Taking on Nikki's second suggestion, which was about setting up a steering group, I've tried to get round all the key people that she thought would be a good idea to come onto the steering group.
Hazel has organised a meeting with a senior teacher and a governor to talk about how to move extended services forward.
I'd like to extend what we can offer, and this is, Anna, where you come in terms of enriching the curriculum. I think extended day provision can be a very important part of enriching what these children experience in the time that they're with us. And also, a part of that, and Debbie, this is where I'd like you to be involved, is it is about serving the needs of our parents and community cohesion.
Rather than just thinking, I need lots of people to do lots of jobs for me, she's actually beginning to think, what will each individual bring to the team?
Anna, I'd like you to take on responsibility of chairing the group. If you'd like to do that, that would be great. What I would like to do, Anna, is aim for our first steering group meeting, perhaps around about the beginning of December.
This is really good because she's distributing the responsibility for this group to somebody else, but keeping the lead on it.
If it's going to happen well, it's going to take a bit of planning. It needs to be a measured, structured business plan. So I think we need to be...
Governors would insist on a very good business plan.
Yeah, a very sort of careful approach.
I think she's also really identifying the people who will be her enthusiasts, who will go with her, but also those people who will ask her the challenging questions and perhaps just rein her in a little bit.
But my suggestion would be that we start small, we build on what we've got at the moment, and that may be looking at provision perhaps just till 4:30.
Yeah.
We get that really tight and in place and structured as the way we want it. And then, you know, once it's working, then the possibilities are endless.
Now Niki has viewed the footage, she calls Hazel to check up on her progress.
So tell me about the steering group then.
The response has been very positive. It really does need to be addressed in the school, and they could see the sense of having a group to do it.
Have you thought about how you're going to do that then, in terms of keep that strategic role, but actually do delegate the responsibility and the tasks to those people?
Having sort of made this commitment sort of to a distributive leadership model, I've got to let go a little bit now. But at the same time, I'm aware that I must sort of almost keep checking in to make sure things are happening.
How do you feel about the whole sort of process now?
I feel it's manageable, and I feel with your help, Niki, I've sort of perhaps just tentatively taken that first step up this huge ladder. You know, I'm on the way now.
Brilliant.
Thank you so much for your time. I really felt you've helped me on the way.
You're welcome, and good luck and have a really nice half term when it arrives. A good leader makes the connection between extended services and what they're trying to achieve in their school. They're not two separate agendas. It's not a single leader's job. It's identify the team, and it's start with the team you've got. Look around you. Who have you got who is already committed to this agenda, and put those people on your team. The other thing to think about is that there are many, many schools who have been down part of this journey before. Go and visit them. Go and talk to their school leaders. Find out what they did, what worked, what didn't work, and really take advice from those people on the ground. Hazel always had a really big vision for what she wanted to achieve with extended services, but what she was struggling with was how to start. I am confident that she has got some of those strategies in place now.
I still feel it's hugely daunting, but it's slightly less daunting than it was a couple of weeks ago. I know what I'm going to do in the next 2-3 weeks, 2-3 months, whereas before all I could think about is where I needed to be in the next 2 or 3 years.